As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Son of a bitch. He stole my life.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Welcome back to the Shot by Shot podcast, where today we're talking, I think, our first ever animated movie that we've ever covered on the podcast, which is pretty crazy. And it's one that is really great. It just got a re-release here worldwide, I think. It was the US and the UK for its anniversary. Great theatrical experience of what I'd consider probably my favourite anime, which is a genre that I haven't really watched much of. Only really the big mainstream hits, I'd guess. But this one's kind of different to really anything else I've seen. Still kind of stands out to a lot of the genre, at least from my perspective. Revolutionary for the time, revolutionary for the science fiction genre. It's got that Neo-Tokyo, which is, apart from Blade Runner, is probably some of the best examples of just that kind of art style done in a movie, I think. It's really a staple of the both animated and science fiction, I guess. It is really revolutionary in both. It's steeped in Japanese history, and it is a movie that is replicated, or some of its shots and moments are replicated in so many modern movies as well, which is where I heard of it first before I even seen the movie. So it is really something that stood the test of time. Loved watching it again in the cinemas. Oscar, I know this is this your favourite anime ever as well?
Yeah, probably my favorite animated film in general, to be honest. I can't think of really any other films in that kind of area that I'd consider perfect, really. This might be the only one.
Toy Story?
Not perfect.
Oh.
Do you think I had that at a 5 or something?
I don't know.
It should be. Should be near a 5. Yeah, Akira sort of just brought anime into the Western world, I guess. It's the only anime I'd say that's that old that transcends the pop culture confined to Japan. It's definitely not my favorite. I definitely have the deepest anime bag here. It's not like I'm watching anime every day, but I've seen quite a lot of even the more obscure anime films. And I appreciate this more on rewatch, but I still would not myself call it masterpiece, even though I think animation wise it is probably a masterpiece. I think the story, I think the world it's set in, Neo Tokyo, is got Blade Runner level of influence on pop culture, like you said. I think the soundtrack's amazing as well. For this, it's really good, especially in a cinema. What helped with this is I watched it originally in dub at home, because back when I watched this, I was more into dubs than subs, and the superpowered kids were so annoying in dub that I really probably helped get that extra half-star up on rewatch, because it was almost unbearable, the dub, when I originally watched it. I still think End of Evangelion is the best anime film, but you have to do about 8 hours of homework to appreciate it. So I feel like going straight into an anime film, it's either this or Redline, where you don't need any. I think everyone's seen Redline here. You've not seen Red? Oh, no, Ryan's seen Redline. I think that's the best animated thing I've ever seen in my life, because it's all hand drawn. I think it's better than Akira, just because it made the studio go bankrupt. But it's a ridiculous film. So yeah, Akira's very good. Very, very good.
This is all pretty much hand drawn in this.
It is all hand drawn.
The behind the scenes is crazy. There's just this bits of them where you can see painting all the bits of light onto all the skyscrapers, and watching this on the big screen was pretty transcendent. I also accidentally booked too close to the screen, because there's some cinemas I keep on forgetting the geometry of the screen, so I'm trying to gauge how far I am picking out on the plan. But no, it ended up actually being quite cool. And the way all like the layers of the background just kind of move and shift around is so mesmerizing. And yeah, it was quite unique as well. The kind of practices for anime at the time, because it was what is it, 24 frames per second rate. The motion is incredibly fluid, it's ridiculous. And yeah, the quality on display for when was this, 88, wasn't it, I think,
Yeah.
somewhere around then. um the vibrancy and all this kind of cyberpunk animation, nothing has been able to kind of replicate it since. And obviously the Akira slide is one of the most referenced things in pop culture, in general. It's been done to death. But yeah, one of my absolute favorites.
I think also they recorded the voices before they animated it, which is not typical back then for animated films. And weirdly, I was reading earlier, Spielberg and Lucas thought there's no way we can distribute this in America, and so it was struggling to get distributed. I don't know the history of the film because it must have been. It's been referenced for so many decades. It must have been an immediate big hit when it came
I,
over.
I don't think it
Like
was. I think it
globally.
was.
Was it
It
not?
was released in the early 90s on home video, and that's when it properly
I know
blew
it
up.
got re-released in 2001. I think
I
with
think
a
it was
new
the
dub,
first.
but
It
I
was the
don't know.
first animated movie that Criterion released, so that really helped it when it got to like home video. In the
Okay,
States.
maybe you could argue it's more of a cult thing then, and then it got massive.
I think it was
But
huge.
yeah,
It must have been huge in Japan, because this is like
well,
it was an almost a 10 million budget they gave them. Obviously, this is like I was reading about how in the 80s Japan's economy like blew up, so then they kind of like pumped tons of money into anime and everything, and that's like when you get like all the Studio Ghibli movies coming up, and this, and the budget was just crazy compared to anything else.
well, it was adapted from the manga. I don't know. A manga's always been more popular than anime in Japan. More people read manga than watch anime. I believe that's right. Um, and it could have been huge. I don't know. The manga could have been huge. This film doesn't adapt all of it because the manga hadn't ended when this came out, and they've never adapted the rest of it. Which, with how many like remakes and stuff we get, I can't believe that's not happened yet. But now, the monkey's
True.
paw's probably killed, and that'll be it now after this recording.
Yeah, the
But
the manga. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think another thing is Pokemon and Dragon Ball in the 90s like made anime completely mainstream globally. So that probably corresponds to the time this got huge, because if it wasn't for those two, I don't think it would have erupted as early as it did. What were you going to
Yeah,
say?
the manga was made by the same person who directed this, Katsuhiro Otomo, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah,
Which
well, I think
is
it
Not
was made at the same time, so it's technically not even an adaptation. Like this is the original.
I'm
kind
pretty
of
sure
source
there was like
material still.
6 years. I'm pretty sure there was like the anime came. No, the manga came out like early 80s. I'm pretty sure there's like a good 5 year difference between the two. I'm almost
I
certain.
think this was getting made like whilst they were making the
Oh,
manga.
really? It just took that
Yeah, it
long.
just took that long. Yeah.
That is fascinating.
yeah,
But yeah, 2,200 shots and 160,000 single pictures. Ridiculous. 2 to 3 times more than usual for animes. And I think it's always interesting watching films that are in the film set in the future, but for us it's now the past. Obviously, this is 2019, I think it is.
yeah.
Um,
2019 Olympics in Japan,
the
which was when
2019
Japan was
Olympics.
supposed to host it. Well, 2020 if not for COVID,
Oh
which is
yeah, it
weird.
was, wasn't it? But I think you could say this film is kind of like, it offers so much more than just its like technical profoundness. I think it's a really interesting display of like post-war Japanese politics, and their imagining of their own future. Because obviously this, like the beginning of the film, there's like what appears to be like a nuclear explosion, and there's like the and like an old part of Tokyo that's kind of segmented off in portions of this film. And I think it's this rise of industrialism after kind of World War II for Japan actually does come crashing down in the 70s for them, when they it kind of gets a bit too much and their economy just crashes, uh, um, and we're just left with like endless amounts of metal and scrap, which is pretty wildly resembled in this in the most kind of cosmic and psychic kind of ways. And it's nuts. It is a pretty crazy film.
Yeah, because two of Japan's arguably biggest cultural exports are about getting nuked.
Mm.
Godzilla and this are like complete, especially the first Godzilla is really bleak. It's not as like silly as the Toho stuff later on, and this as well. Like the ending is and beginning is like really. You can tell it's from like a place of somewhere that has trauma with that in the past, and then obviously spoilers. Tetsuo becoming like one of these gods at the end is like
Mm.
Akira was. Is so like I don't know. I don't know what you guys think of the narrative itself. I don't think it's my interest like goes in and out with it. I don't think it's that amazing of a narrative, but the ending and the world building I think is really good. It's the characters that I struggle with a little bit, except for Tetsuo.
I think it's kind of easy to get lost in it. I know, you were saying
Mm.
how the whole thing isn't like an adaptation. I think it's like the start and the end are like the really like faithful stuff, and then the middle's kind of like trying to stretch like 5 chapters of a manga into like the middle of the movie, and that's maybe where it gets lost a bit. But I think like that ending is like it just like lifts it really high up for me. Like there's like body horror that comes in. Kind of just it's kind of a horror movie at the end. It's like I really like where it leads to towards at that moment. But I can see why you would get lost a bit in the middle.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think this film like it has its obvious influences. Like you can see Metropolis and like 2001 in a lot of this, and I think it's a really fascinating depiction of like the early film ideas of what the future looks like in a way. I kind of futurism, that's what it's called, in from like early 20th century, like with Metropolis, these kind of like big cities and these kind of robotic figures. But I know that's a like kind of a vague sci-fi description, but it does feel quite specific to kind of early silent films in a way that this deals with. And I don't think it's something that is like it has its influences, but it very much feels its own thing, and it's like there's nothing really like it out there. Um, and it kind of there's a lot of this film about kind of fascism. There's I think the current leaders at the moment, this kind of capital organization, but then we've got kind of the villain of the film who's like wants to overthrow them, but he's like this army military guy, so it's like trying to overthrow, but basically you're going to be replacing with the same thing, which is quite funny. And then there's all these protests going on at the same time, anti-government protests. Um, like I mentioned before, it's interesting in its own time period, following on from the kind of devastation of capital greed that kind of left Japan to have this massive fallout from what was a pretty prosperous kind of post World War II period for them, despite the fact that they committed terrible war crimes throughout World War II, and most of the world seemed to have forgotten about that. But yeah, this film is a fantastic realization of that kind of overwhelming annihilation of a country that was like so over its head in industrialization that it almost became too metal. And all the kind of creatures we see with all like the wires and metal fabrics like woven in and out of them, like Tetsuo's kind of final form thing that we see is ridiculous. I love it so much.
Yeah, all I could think about with that was Tetsuo, the Iron Man, and I was like, "Is that a reference?" And then I
Yeah.
googled it,
Well,
and I
isn't
was
that
like,
what
"Yeah."
Yeah.
Tetsuo means in Japanese?
But
It means
Tetsuo
Iron
just
Man.
means the Iron
Yeah.
Man. I was like, "Okay, that makes sense."
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mm.
that's all I could think about during that scene. Yeah, I think Japanese media is interesting to study. 'Cause like you said, it's like they were nuked, and then 30 years later, 40 years later, they were this like. Well, after the nuke, America basically settled them for like 10 years, and then they went through like this hyper capitalist transition to like democracy instead of having like an emperor. And then yeah, it's like you can see in the films they didn't really know. They had an ego about it, but they also had like grief from the war, and they didn't really know how to deal with it. And this film, like you said, really captures the arrogance of like the military men and the politicians. But then like you see, especially amongst the younger people in this film, it's sort of just on street level devolving into anarchy, about like the uncertainty of all like jurisdiction there, which is why I think it's cool that the biker gangs. It feels like a cool homage to like American cinema around the time. Um, and you all look at the poster, you think the bike itself is going to be more prevalent, but it's really not in the
Mm.
film that much. And that little slide that's referenced in Everything Ever is such a like small, basically insignificant part of the film, uh, in the context of it all. Yeah, I think the aesthetics of it all and like what they're wearing and everything is like, again, it goes back to like the American influences that took over Japan. I think it's a really well stylized cyberpunk setting that is like as good as Blade Runner and other stuff. It actually reminded me of Cyberpunk the game with like the jackets and stuff.
Mm.
I think there's a really interesting division between this and kind of Blade Runner, where they kind of the obviously it's a stunning film, but at the same time it's really beautiful, but it's also not. This kind of dystopian thing. I guess the idea of the future in these is like equal parts beautiful, and but once you look under, it's really really bad. But I think that's the kind of inextricable link between this kind of exaggerated horror is kind of masked in beauty in a way. But yeah, terrific film.
I went to see this with a friend who'd read the manga, and he said the priest character that you only see very briefly, the guy
Mm,
who's like got his followers with him chanting, is
mm,
like a much bigger part of the manga after the film's like conclusion. And
hmm.
there's a big like focus on spiritualism, which I think is another thing they sort of lost post-war. Um, so that's an interesting take. Yeah, it's not. It's like a really shiny looking setting, but at the same time, you've got like terror attacks and martial law going off.
Mm.
So I don't think it's as bleak at the forefront as some other settings, but the world feels lived in, and like they really show that the top dogs are incompetent, which is why it leads to that military coup towards the end. Yeah, I think all the character dynamics are really interesting. It's just very odd. The plot itself is very odd, and I can never. I understand it, but I can never fully buy into it compared to some other animes I've seen. But I enjoyed it more on rewatch.
I think it kind of goes back to maybe my kind of problem with a lot of animation nowadays, that most of it is just obsessed with like making like really pretty and bright images, like filling in as many colors as we can. But this both uses that, um, but is able to turn that into some strong storytelling, which I think there a lot of kind of animated filmmakers nowadays get the two mixed up. They think one automatically equals the other. But I think this kind of really pushes against that.
The lighting in this is incredible as well. It is
Mm.
almost like, I don't know. I don't really know what kind of animated movie I would compare it to, but I don't know. I tend to go towards the kind of like stop motion kind of side animation. That's kind of what my preferred. Not that like the digital stuff is like not impressive in its own right, but I kind of just like kind of pulled towards that kind of side. And this is kind of halfway towards that, where it's still kind of like they're drawing each frame like individually. I think that's a really cool aspect of it. I think you said that the biker influences and stuff and like the kind of Americanization of almost it. I think that did help, obviously, like make it such a big thing in America. But I think it also the animation style of it kind of makes it more accessible than other animes. Like Oscar said earlier about the 24 frames per second. I think it's like, what are other animes? Were they like 12 frames or something? Yeah, they were really low, like other animes, because it would like save so much money. But this is almost like
Yeah.
kind of a more lifelike kind of style, which kind of makes it an easier jump from, say, a live action movie to animation if it's not something that you're used to.
I've just googled it. Red Line is 24 frames, which is ridiculous, and why they went bankrupt.
When was that
probably.
made?
That was 2000s, wasn't
It was late, but Nausicaa is 24 frames, and that is Ghibli's first film, I think, or Miyazaki's first film.
Daniel, what was the name of the anime show like a couple years ago? Like the first episode was incredible, and you can just tell after episode 1, like the budget just went
Uzumaki.
downhill. That was it, yeah. And we watched the live action film, which is good. The first episode that was incredible, but yeah, that was tragic.
I can show and tell actually. Hang on. I'll try and find. You keep talking. I'll try and find a good.
I know you were talking about like the voice acting being done before, but that the music was also completed before any of the composers had seen like any of the film or the script at all, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is like a frame from Uzumaki, and imagine that, but like made in like 5 minutes on like a free animation software. That's what episode 2 of that show looked like. And then imagine that trying to be adapted on no budget in live action. But to be fair, I actually didn't mind the live action film. It was a bit stupid.
I thought it was quite good.
I thought it was
I think
alright.
I keep on seeing like clips from Invincible, and the animation looks like it was made on like Google Slides for like $5. It's pretty terrible.
Gonna bring that up. Yeah, it's pretty dire in the comparison to this. But I feel like that's now like nobody gets time to just get years and practically unlimited budget to do stuff like this anymore. Like that's kind of like a rushed out show. Whereas this was given 6 years. Was it? Was this in production for like 6-7 years? Or
I think that's about right. Yeah.
I don't know.
So Miyazaki's led the way. Nausicaa came out 4 years before this, and it's 24 frames. So it's not the first, but it's still very impressive. And I'd assume Nausicaa had quite a good budget because it's Ghibli. It's early Ghibli, but it's still Ghibli.
Yeah, this film cost $10 million to make, which was a record at the time for Japanese animation.
Oh, there you go then.
Completed in 87, released in 88, and the manga was finished in 90. And half the time you just get like rumors, people like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a live action adaptation of this, and it keeps them getting shut down. Thank goodness. I never want to see the light of day of anything of that kind.
My concern with anime films is standalone anime films. I just don't think are going to be a thing as much in like 5 years because Miyazaki is going to retire eventually. I think he's making another. I think it's Nausicaa 2 or something that he's doing next. He won't have many more in him. And Satoshi Kon unfortunately died like 20 odd years ago. I'd argue Satoshi Kon was the only other person except for Miyazaki to bang out mainstream. You can just sit and watch them because Akira, what's his name? Akira's director only really made Akira and then some like shorts. So he wasn't like pumping out all these anime films. And I think the next closest person is Fujimoto, who did Look Back, which got cinema release. I saw it, but now Corey doing the
the live
adaptation of it
action,
this
yeah.
year, so everyone's probably going to see that.
Who made Ghost in the Shell? I think that's pretty great, and I've heard the sequel
That
is
is good.
extraordinary, which I still haven't seen.
But again, I think Ghost in the Shell was like a one and done sort of thing. Oshi.
2 is meant to be
Mamoru
quite good. And then Makoto Shinkai is another.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Shinkai. Yeah, that sort of throws my argument out the window. But he doesn't. I still don't know if he's mainstream, to be honest.
I think he's one of the more
What did he make?
mainstream working. Your
Your
name,
Name.
Suzumi.
Oh, right.
5 centimeters per second.
Weathering with You.
Weathering with You. That's it.
Your Name is very popular, but I don't think some random guy would watch that compared to like a Miyazaki or an
True.
Akira. I just don't know.
Mm.
But also Shinkai, I think, is going down a little bit. I did like Suzume, to be fair. Yeah, we sort of got spoiled that year. We got Suzume and Boy and the Heron in the same
Boy
year.
and the
Now it's
Heron.
been dead.
I
been
still
dead for
think
years.
Boy and the Heron is underrated. Like people really didn't like that
Still not seen
that
it.
much. Really, I still think it's. I mean, it's even though it's not his last film, it feels like a perfect swan song for his career. It
It's
was going
definitely
to
like-
be, wasn't it?
Yeah,
At
it
one
was
point.
same for the entire press run. I'm not making any more films. I don't like making films. And then like it was like, oh, I'm making. He started teasing Nausicaa 2 like a month after the film came out. So yeah, no, he'll definitely make another film. I don't think
Yeah.
he's gonna stop until he dies, which is good. But yeah, he unfortunately for the other nominees in that category at the Oscars, when Miyazaki makes a film, he wins the award.
It was deserved,
So
to be fair.
I think it was. I preferred it over Suzume, and I don't remember what else Western came out
Was
that year.
was that Across the Spider-Verse that year?
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah, you're
was.
right.
So
It
we're
was
annoyed
snack
that it
category
did
that
that,
year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And people really
Well,
annoyed
Boy and the
that
Heron
Boy
was
and the
better.
Heron won. It was.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We might have to wait a while until we get like another big anime film. There's nothing coming out as far as I know, which is a shame.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder when Makoto Shinkai. I think he is doing another film. I've
He will be. I
keep
just
on
don't know
hearing
what it
things
is.
every now and again.
Oh, there's Thingy as well. There's a guy who does. He's not mainstream at all, but he pumps films out constantly. He did The Girl Who Let Through Time is probably his most well-known animated one. But like I said, he's not like a mainstream name like Shinkai. So that goes back to my earlier point that I think people are fine with that though in Japan. You basically, if you're that into it, you watch an anime and then the anime gets the film. I suppose End of Eva started that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw. I mean, apparently, like Demon Slayer film made like $1 billion. I've never
Damn.
watched that, but I don't know if you got. Sometimes at my cinema, you get really cringy anime trailers that like make me shrink into my seat before an anime film. They were like advertising this reincarnated as a slime show, like that was getting a film, and I was like, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment being sat here watching this. Yeah, I don't know.
I generally don't think I have gotten any trailers for random anime things.
Yeah, I
coming
think
out.
the light shows quite a lot of anime, so I get some really embarrassing trailers sometimes.
We got the new Evangeline show as well, which is going to be interesting.
How many spin-offs does that need?
It's got.
I don't think it's even spin-off. Like they're not been spin-offs. They've just been like loads of reboots. They're just trying to go in different directions.
To be fair, they weren't. Well, there was a series and then there was a film, and then there was
Do you like the reboots,
sequels.
Daniel?
I do, but like they're so inferior to like.
They are.
Film.
I agree.
It's like basically an alternate storyline, but way worse, and they added really annoying character in it. like a new pilot for no reason. But now, yeah, that show's cursed with being like one of the most popular things ever in Japan. So they will never let it die. They're just gonna keep rebooting it, and I'm gonna keep watching it.
Same.
Because the animation studio, I can't remember what they've done, but it's a very good animation studio for the new one.
Yeah, I think it's
excited.
interesting. It was Taika Waititi said he was going to try and do a live action Akira, wasn't it? I swear.
Yeah, I think so.
And then thankfully that got shut down. But I think it's, we obviously there's the One Piece show. The Netflix did Cowboy Bebop, didn't
Which was
they?
awful. Yeah.
And I think like even when you see those shows of what they are, like I don't want to see them in live action, but like this is just a whole different story. Like obviously Blade Runner exists, but like that's the 80s. Like now it's just gonna be I can't even begin to imagine what it's gonna be like, to be honest, if it does happen, and I really hope it never does.
I think it's like if you touch it and mess it up, you are like in trouble. I think it's that sort of like it's held at that sort of standard. Yeah, luckily Watiti's like trapped in Disney hell or whatever, and actually he's doing a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory TV show or something, like that animated one.
Yeah,
I don't
keep
think
him
he's
away.
directed
Keep
it,
him
but
away.
he's like in it. Keep him in that sort of slop. Because Wonka's been slopified now by Paul.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Isn't that out this year or is it next year? Wonka 2.
Next year, I think.
Yeah, it's not been
He's
shot.
gonna get his Oscar for well, he probably won't, to be honest. Get that Dune Messiah Oscar and then get a Wonka.
I think Chalamet will eventually win an Oscar, but it's going to be for
It
a
won't be-
terrible film.
It won't
It's
be
going to be
next
for.
year. It won't be
It'll
this
be.
year.
Is it? It's like I don't get it. It feels like the actors who feel like they're waiting ages to win an Oscar eventually win it for films that aren't very good in it. I feel like Leo the Revenant is like he's done so much better than that, and that was his first Oscar.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like Chalamet's destined to be the same thing. It's gonna be like some stupid biopic or something.
Yeah, I agree. Probably something Oscar bait because Revenant was like designed to win Oscars. Even though I don't hate that film, but it definitely was like putting him through, like acting like, oh yeah, we filmed in all these awful conditions, and Leo was like suffering. It was like, okay, this is an obvious Oscar win.
Who cares?
Leo deserves the second Oscar at this point. He's overdue for that one.
I think he should have won last year, to be honest. But
like
it is what it is.
His last like 4 performances were like win worthy.
I think One Battle's one of his best ever. I think it's a ridiculous performance. It made me laugh that Michael B. Jordan is now like after his Oscar is in that parrot film for kids. It's like this animated parrot film.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I was like, he's got the Oscar now. He's getting the bag. So yeah, and we got off Akira easily. Akira, I like it a lot. I don't know if you have anything else to say.
No. Apart from a couple of Studio Ghibli movies, it's up there for me. Maybe my favorite. I don't know.
How many animated films have you seen? Could you
Not
count it on your
much.
hands?
My bag is not deep. Yeah, I could probably count it in both
You've
hands.
seen Redline though, and you haven't, which is pretty.
True. To be fair,
Oh, you know what?
outside of Ghibli and I guess a couple others, my anime bag is not that deep as well. I do keep on hearing really good things about the Ghost in the Shell sequel, so I'm really interested to. That's another interesting point actually, because that is kind of the cyberpunk style as well, and that was remade into a live action film with
Scarlett Johansson.
Which is fascinating. Oh, Angel's Egg. Now that is a good film.
That's getting a re-release.
80 it is. 85 that was. That's crazy. That film looks incredible.
That film is like
so glad
pure
I've been remembered
vibes.
of that. You need to watch that, Ryan. That film is
Which one's this?
remarkable. Angel's Egg.
It's really weird. It's getting a re-release. It looks amazing.
It's phenomenal film. 85. Wow. Did not realize that was that early. But yeah, I think Ben watched it recently actually. Yeah, he did. But yeah, it's a phenomenal film. I'm going through now to see what Grave of the Fireflies is a classic.
Oh, that may be my favorite actually.
Perfect Blue. I could see that in the cinemas
my
with a
top
double
3.
feature with Mother Mary this weekend. I
Oh my God.
might, which is perfect because both films are about like pop stars, like in horror kind of fashion.
I think The Wind Rises you need to see if you've not seen it. That's
I do need
Ghibli.
to see that.
That's like it's really like serious biopic. It's like it's like the closest film I've seen to Oppenheimer. I think anyone would
Interesting.
like. I think anyone would like that.
I seen Kiki's Delivery Service is the Spider-Man 2 of anime.
What? Spider-Man 2.
That's what I seen.
I really
Ghost
like
in the
Kiki's
Shell
Delivery.
2, Innocence. I do need to watch the Ghost in the Shell sequel because everyone that I follow seems to absolutely love it. Have you seen it, Daniel? I don't think you have.
I've seen the first one. I don't even like the first one that much. I'm a bit of an outlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Tokyo Godfathers is great. Millennium Actress is good. Paprika's good.
Anything's Surgical.
True.
His animation as well. Paranoia Agent is really good.
Oh, yeah.
My Neighbor Totoro is probably my favorite. Actually, I'm changing my answer.
Really? That's like
Oh,
my
really?
least.
That is really sweet. It is sweet. I'm trying. What
Mine
else
is-
have I seen? Akira is obviously the best. I people seem to have an aversion to Howl's Moving Castle, but I really still really like it.
I really like that.
Nausicaa's great. 84, damn. A Silent Voice is an interesting recent one.
It's alright.
You-
It's worse than yours.
Yeah,
I get into arguments with people about if that's better than your name. I'm like, it's not. My top 3 would be End of Evangelion, Perfect Blue, and Red Line.
Oh, there's the short film from 2020. Has anyone else? It's called Puparia. It's like 3 minutes long. It's on YouTube. I don't know why this has just randomly appeared. That's crazy. I watched all the old Pokemon films as well. Absolute classics.
The Jinro series is good. That's like a classic, like Ghost in the Shell, about like
Princess
Japanese.
Mononoke. Oh. There is a lot of worthwhile stuff out there, and I need to dig deeper. I'm kind of embarrassed that there's stuff on there that I just haven't gotten into yet. But yeah,
Where do you stand on Spirit of the Way? Do you think it's like
it's
one of the
great. Yeah,
It's one
it's
of the,
great.
It might be the best. It's boring, but it might be the best.
Boring. I mean basic.
Boring.
I thought you were saying the film was boring. Then
No. It's a boring opinion.
It's really great. Yeah, I love it.
I don't know what Wind Rises is probably second for Ghibli. Oh no, my favorite Ghibli isn't my hipster opinion. It's not by Miyazaki. My favorite Ghibli. Tale of Princess Kaguya is.
Oh yeah,
favorite
you've recommended me that.
Yeah, it's not Miyazaki. It's amazing. It's also not animated like any other Ghibli film. It's really traditional.
I didn't realize Grave of the Fireflies came out in '88 as well. That's a
Good year.
stacked year for animation.
Crazy year. Maybe I do need to go and see Perfect Blue
There's an even
somewhere
more
on
brutal
Sunday.
nuclear anime film called Barefoot Gen that like shows you the impact of the nuke on people's bodies. It's horrible.
Oh damn.
It's really bleak, that one.
Anyway, good anime is good. Even though I don't watch many shows, just the
Ryan
films.
pretends he doesn't like it, but then he watches it and rates it a 4.
I usually like it more than you ever watch one.
You like Akira more than me, I think. I think I like it the least, which is
Yeah.
funny.
Damn.
But yeah,
That
good
on
movie.
anime, then. Very good movie.
Yes.
We won't do another anime for like 10 years because they're not coming out.
Right, so we're gonna get into our favorite watches. We haven't done this in a while, so it's gonna be a mix of March and April. Top 10 since it's 2 months.
Mine are only ordered in top 3 because they caught similar ratings. And some, my first one, my 10, I've not. It's start of March, so it's been ages. Logan Lucky is not a Soderbergh. Not the sort of turn I was expecting from a Soderbergh. He's always had a comedic kick to him, but this feels very, I don't know, on the nose comedy. I just love Channing Tatum so much. I've got like a man crush
Yeah,
on
he's
Channing
such a good
Tatum.
actor.
Roofman is
He's like
mid.
Roofman is amazing. I love
It
Roofman.
is mid.
Channing Tatum, I just think like steals every film he's in, but then like pairing with Adam Driver and Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is really good in this. Sebastian Stan's in it, Jack Quaid's in it, Seth MacFarlane's in it. It's Hilary Swank. It's quite a stacked cast. And like looking at the poster, I've always avoided it because I was like, this is a Guy Ritchie film in disguise. The whole like Daniel Craig and like I don't know, just the vibe I was getting off it. But no,
It's a
I
Quaid
think
line
it's
movie.
that's harsh. That's harsh. It's a bit better than a Quaid
It's
line film.
complimentary.
Quaid line movie.
It's an old Quaid line film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's very good, and I like the similar to Roofman. It's not all about the heist. There's like a family element to it all, with like Adam Driver's running gag with it. Is it his arm or his leg? It's his arm in it that he's.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
missing
that's
an arm,
so
yeah.
funny.
That running gag is good. Yeah, no, Logan Lucky is a very like easy to watch first choice for me. I really enjoy
He's
it.
so good at heist movies. Like he really
He
is
is,
just like
yeah.
keeping that genre alive.
But now he loves AI, so oh well.
True.
True.
Washed.
Who's next?
I'll go. My number 10 is John Woo's A Better Tomorrow. Did not realize the funniest thing when I got to the scene where it's like the beaver meme. That
Is it
was
literally
where it was
just that
from.
meme?
It's
not seen the
literally just
movie.
it's Cho Yun Fat, and we got the eye patch over, and I was like, hang on a second, this looks familiar, and lo and behold, it was. So that was really good. But no, the film is incredible. John Woo's one of the best melodrama filmmakers, and there's 3 of these films, and he made the second one, and Suhak made the third. All are meant to be great, so I need to catch up on those other ones. But no, this was, I thought, was extraordinary. One of his best, and he's made loads of incredible films. Yeah, really fantastic stuff, and a must watch if you've liked any of his others. But yeah, really dug this. Beautiful film.
Nice. I need to watch that. Although, is that the one that's getting re-released next month, or is that
No, that's Bullet in the Head, I think.
Bullet in the Head? Okay, right.
That's
Yeah.
incredible too.
I want to catch that in the cinema.
Bullet in the Head is really interesting because it kind of feels it's not the kind of all out crazy action of necessarily of some of the like a Hard Boiled or a Killer necessarily. Like it does
Right.
have it in, but like it's set on like backdrop of like Vietnam War and things like that. It's really fascinating. Great film.
Cool. I need to watch that. My number 10 is, I think we've all seen this, Blue Moon. Richard Linklater's second movie from last year. I kind of liked him kind of just going back to basics with this movie compared to Hitman, which I thought Hitman was like a really fun screenplay, but like, the kind of like technical aspects of it were kind of let down for a Linklater movie. This one's
Hitman
all
felt
a one
like
location movie.
Hitman felt like a modern Edgar Wright film to me.
Interesting.
I don't know if that
Not
makes
bad.
sense. Worse than his usual standard. I don't know. Anyway,
Was that just because of Running Man links, or
Glenn Powell link definitely. Just sort of, I don't know, the tone of it. Yeah, I don't know. But no, Blue Moon's amazing. I think he
Yeah,
gave one of the best performances of last year.
100%. Yeah.
Hmm.
It is incredibly funny the way they go about like the forced perspective of making Ethan Hawke look like, I don't know, like 4'9" or something. He's like actually so small in this movie. Um, it's a really great performance. I know I really like just the one location thing. Him and Margaret Qualley are like have a really good chemistry together. It's very funny. Probably my favorite Andrew Scott performance in a while as well.
Mm.
Did he get an Oscar or a screenplay nomination for this, or was it just Stephen Hawke?
Ooh,
I,
good question.
I feel like Blue Moon only got best acting nom.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it might have been actually.
yeah. I wish this
Great
got in the
film.
10 over some of the other movies we got, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
a great movie.
My number 9 is Existence by David Cronenberg. Um, Existence or whatever they call it. It's not
Yeah,
Existence.
Yeah.
Existence. Great
Um,
film.
good film. Jude Law. I really like Jude Law and stuff. And Jennifer Jason Leigh as well. It's just a trippy, very late 90s with like the virtual reality video game stuff. Feels a product of its
Mm.
time. Um, as always, I mean, I could just recycle what I say about every Cronenberg film, but his films don't always resonate with me, but this one did. The weird like game controllers that are like biological, and the game within the game, and the ending and the beginning like linked together. It's just so bizarre and always keeps you guessing. Willem Dafoe's a freak in the short amount of time he's in it. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say because I'm going to end up spoiling it, and also explaining the plot is really difficult. But yeah, any excuse for a biological weapon, Cronenberg puts it in his film. But like I said in my review, the game is terrible. The game itself is absolutely awful. I wouldn't want to buy that game. But yeah, no, it's very good. If you like Cronenberg, you'll like that.
Nice. For my number 9, I went for Agnes Varda's Le Bonheur, who is a filmmaker I think this is only the second of her films that I've watched, which is kind of bad. Uh, really, really incredible. And this film has got like, people talk about how beautiful this film is, and it is, but I think it's, people talk about it necessarily in the wrong way, because I think it uses its like formal beauty and all the bright color palettes against itself. It's kind of about this kind of terrifying insight into kind of suburban change and transformation in a way that is kind of undramatic and uncontested, and generally one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen. But in that is just completely uncanny and not dramatic, and it really creeps up on you. But yeah, really fantastic film, one that I would absolutely recommend, and I need to see more of her films. But yeah, great film.
Nice. My number 9 is David Fincher's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which
Nice.
is one from him. I mean, I've still got a few to watch from him, but it's one that I'd been kind of avoiding because I kind of just. I mean, I think it was easy to dismiss it as like a Swedish remake, but I do think. I know that I've seen the original, but I do really think he's kind of just still in his David Fincher bag of the mid 2010s when this comes out. And what I love so much about his movies, I think I said that this was like the best Knives Out movie because it's like Daniel Craig's at the center doing this like mystery solve where he's like hired to solve a mystery. But his movies are really never one thing. Like he's got this like mystery side to it, and then he's got like the investigation, like journalist kind of aspect of the movie, and then it becomes a thriller that's like so dark and goes like ways that I just didn't really imagine at all. Um, so a lot of his movies around that time, I feel like they're working in like so many ways to kind of make his own wee interesting movie. Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara and this are like actually like probably possibly the best of their careers. They're really so good in this movie. I'd really recommend that because I don't. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, it's great.
I've seen
seen
it.
it, yeah?
I don't like it.
Oh, you've both seen it.
What?
I
You
don't,
don't
I
like
don't
it?
like that film. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. That's. Well, it's got a million logs on Letterboxd, but I was gonna say it's one of his more underrated ones. But
If
I
it's
don't
if
really
it's
hear
by
much
a
people talking
popular
about it.
director nowadays, it'll be over 1 million logs. That's just how it works.
Yeah,
true.
true.
But I don't hear people talk about it that much.
No, I
Yeah, I
don't.
guess. Damn, I think it's really great. I know I would like to rewatch it as well. But yeah, good film.
Maybe I can't. I might have just been in a bad mood and watched it. I don't know. My number 8, I watched like 2 days ago. The Day Trippers by the guy who did Superbad, Greg Mottola. It's just my kind of film. It's like a family drama, road trip. All happens in one day, so ticking boxes for me. Stanley Tucci is cheating on his wife, but you don't know who with, and then there's a big twist at the end. And don't know, it's just the way characters interact with each other, little human moments. It's sort of like it reminded me like a Greta Gerwig film, one of her earlier works. And I think it's quite funny as well. The humor's subtle, but quite relatable. The way that like the mother acts in this, she comes across like someone who gets all their news, even though it's like in the 90s, she comes across as someone who gets all the news off like the phone. The way she like interacts with the boyfriend who thinks he's like this big intellectual, but he's also really insecure. It's quite funny. So yeah, it's just a very standard family drama, but that sort of works for me. I really liked it, and I would not have guessed it was by the guy who did Superbad.
It's produced by
Paul.
Soderbergh as well.
Yeah, I noticed that when I watched it. I think Oscar's seen it. Yeah, yes.
What is it?
The Day Trippers.
The Day Trippers. Have I seen
You saw it in 2023, so it's probably like a 1-star now.
Oh yeah, I do not. Oh, I think I know the movie you're talking about. Oh yeah. I do not remember anything about this film, to be honest. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't remember anything about that. That's wild. But ow. My number 8 is a film that I just watched the other day, which is Nicholas Roeg's Don't Look Now. It feels kind of underappreciated. Like I hear bits about it every now and again. 1973 with Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland. Two fantastic performances. Ryan does not like this film. Crazy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
absolutely loved it. One of my favorite movie climaxes I've seen in a while. Like the final couple of minutes are so good, and the payoff is
weird.
incredible. It is. There's yeah. Yeah, gorgeous film. Loads of bright reds everywhere in like every single scene. In case somehow you didn't pick up on that in the film, I was really captivated by everything. This kind of Venice that's almost like a limbo kind of state. They talk about shadows being everywhere. Yeah, I kind of fell in love with that kind of horror thriller flick. Really great film. It's on BBC iPlayer. Everyone should
Yeah,
watch it.
I have a lot of nostalgia for it because the film lecturers were like loved it 'cause it was like a perfect example of like color and mise en scene and stuff like that. I think it's a really amazing setting, turning Venice from this romantic place into this like creepy, like abstract place. And then yeah, Ryan needs to watch it again. I think
There's some really there's some genuinely scary scenes in that film as well that creep me out.
it's creepy. Yeah, it's a creepy film.
I do see a lot of filmmakers like say it's their favorite film, so maybe I do need to give it another chance.
Your horror bag's deep for now, I'd imagine.
I didn't watch it that long ago. Like
Oh, really? Okay.
No. My number 8 is Cry Baby by John Waters, which I'm looking now, and it's actually his most logged movie on Letterboxd, which I would have thought would be or Hairspray, just because that's like the only movie I knew of him before I really got into his filmography because of the remake and stuff. But I guess this one has Johnny Depp in the lead, so that's probably why it could be his most popular movie. It's another musical like Hairspray, although I think it's so much better than that. I think Hairspray is probably my least favorite movie from him. This is up there as one of his best. Like the songs are so good. It's got Johnny Depp. Like I think this is like right before he kind of properly blew up with like the Tim Burton movies. Yeah, really fun movie. It's not as crazy as like a Female Trouble or a Pink Flamingos. So it is kind of more mainstream release of it, but it's still got all the kind of like John Waters that you love. Like you can feel that it's his movie. It's a really fun musical. I think Daniel's seen it. No, he hasn't
Which
seen it.
one's
No,
it?
none of you have.
No, I've
Crybaby.
seen
No, none of these have seen it.
I've seen Serial Mom, which I know you didn't watch that long ago. That's really good.
It's a great
But
one.
no, I've not seen Crybaby.
I recommend that.
My 7, another one I watched at weekend. I had a good weekend. City of the Living Dead, which is the first of Fulci's Gates of Hell trilogy, with the Beyond and the House by the Cemetery. I thought it was unpopular to consider this the best one because most people love the Beyond and I like the Beyond. But then I looked online and it's pretty 50-50 between this and the Beyond. So Letterboxd isn't quite reflective of it, I guess. No, and then I watched The House by the Cemetery 2 days ago, and that is so annoying because the kid in it. I think in City of the Living Dead and the Beyond, you get like something happening that's really creepy, or you get a really brutal
Tarantula.
kill. Yeah, the tarantula.
That's all that I remember about the Beyond is the tarantula scene, and it's so good because of that.
I think this has an even better scene than that. The priest like hangs himself. That's the entire point of this film, and he like his corpse keeps appearing, and this girl's eyes stop bleeding for like 30 seconds, and then she vomits her guts up in like typical like Fulci like full on gore fashion.
Nice.
His plots are terrible. I would say they're pretty terrible, but like the atmosphere is so good, and the like practical effects are amazing. The acting in this isn't amazing either, but I don't know. I really like Fulci. I might just like burn through his entire filmography because Zombie's amazing as well. Even Zombie 3, which me and Ryan watched, is like really entertaining.
We watched it.
Yeah, I think we watched part of that.
Oh, so we did.
A while
I forgot
ago.
that he made
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I've not got into his like less horror stuff. 'Cause I know he didn't only do horror. He did like psychological horror as well. But
he done the New York Ripper, which is my favorite movie from him, which is like genuinely like maybe the funniest slasher movie ever made, like because of the killer.
intentionally or unintentionally.
I'm not sure. It's Italian, so like there's a little bit of tension there, but I'm not sure how intentional it was. I don't want to spoil it because it's actually so funny.
Yeah, Fulci films are very good. I'd recommend like any of them.
I've added the New York Ripper to my watch list. That sounds interesting. I've only seen the Beyond from him, and the tarantula scene is enough to win me over.
Oh, you've got to watch Zombie at least. That's
Zombie
like,
3 is so funny. Like zombies are just spawning from out of nowhere, like falling from the sky at times.
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh dear. Anyway. My number 7, yeah. Is wait, let me get it bonus over here. I have Sam Peckinpah's Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. I know Ryan watched this fairly recently as well, but I don't think he liked it as much as I did.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah.
This is I hadn't watched any of Peckinpah's films up until recently. But I really dug this. One of the sweatiest films I think I've ever seen. Everyone in this is so dirty. There's
I'd say that about all of his movies, to be honest.
you can say that about all of his films. There's so much going on here. It's kind of set in the underworld of kind of Mexican mob culture in a way. As this kind of anti-hero is looking for the body of Alfredo Garcia because he wants to cut off his head. But I think there's a really interesting kind of division between all the kind of grungy sets and the really bright, sleek offices of the rich kind of head guys in this, the middlemen, and it's a way of kind of defining what the underworld is because I think it's quite ambiguous. But yeah, there's a lot of inevitable violence and the Americans trying to twist the hand every turn. But yeah, I think this has like a really plays on that kind of idea and the like a purposeful lack of identity to anything here and like a focal point. But yeah, I thought this was absolutely incredible. Really love this. And Warren Oates is incredible performance. He's so good in this. Love that film.
Nice. Yeah, that was a really good movie. My next is Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, which is very relevant
funny.
movie right now. Mainly because we just got Michael, which is kind of version of this basically. And it's basically it's basically making fun of the music biopic before the music biopic super craze really started with you got like Bohemian Rhapsody, which is like again structurally very similar to this, but it's in like the late 2000s, so it's right before a lot of them, but it still manages to satire the whole genre and kind of I don't know how you would watch this and not ruin the whole subgenre for yourself because it really just picks apart every single trope of it, the backstory, the drug abuse. It really hits all the beats that are really just tend to like come up in these music biopics, and it was a funny experience watching Michael after watching this because there are scene by scene remakes in both movies, and it's not intentional. It's trying to take itself seriously, but it's doing the tropes exactly, and it's very funny once you've seen it made fun of in this movie. I really recommend it. And the music's also really great as well, even though it's like all made up and fictional. Like the music's actually catchy.
The like it's like this is a particularly bad case of being cut in half and all that sort of stuff. Like it's very funny. A lot of repeat guys. His drug binges are really funny as well. Yeah, I don't know how they predicted. I can't believe you lot only just watched it, but yeah, it's really good.
I really need to see it. I really do.
It would make you hate something like Michael even more, definitely, if you watched it before then. So we watched Death Proof recently, and they name dropped Vanishing Point. I was like, okay, whilst they were talking about it, I immediately added it to my watch list, and I watched it like a day after. And it is very good. Anything that Tarantino sort of glazes in his film, I kind of trust him on because he's like, his film knowledge is like ridiculous, even though he's like a freak. I can't deny his film knowledge and the influences on his film, and this is like a clear Death Proof influence. It is 1 hour and 40 minutes of a car chase, effectively. It's sort of like Rambo, where the police are they have their egos hurt, and they are like trying to bend the law to stop this guy who made a bet with someone that he could deliver this Dodge Challenger, the same one that's in Death Proof, the yellow one, to California by the end of the weekend. That's the very basic plot of it. And you get some weird continuity with the ending at the beginning, and I don't know. It's one of those effortlessly cool films from the 70s that you can definitely tell were like cult hits. It's like something that shown in Grindhouse cinema. Really good film. And if you've seen Death Proof, I'd recommend watching this if you really like Death Proof, because there's a lot of similarities.
Interesting. For my number 6 pick, I've gone for Christian Petzold's Yella. Christian is one of my favorite working filmmakers, who I had the pleasure of speaking to the other week. And I think this is one of his best films. One of his slightly earlier ones is 2007. It's about this woman played by the incredible Nina Hoss, who I love dearly, incredible actress. And she kind of walks away from this obsessive husband of hers who just kind of keeps on following her everywhere. But yeah, it kind of follows her moving through jobs, corporate jobs. You know, do you guys have those like random industrial estates where there'll be like these really lonely office buildings that just like sit on the outskirts of everything, and they got like loads of glass, and there's quite a lot of them around here, but I feel that it's quite a specific thing, but this film really targets those kind of liminal spaces, like just on the out of town, bleak kind of purgatory limbo kind of things, as she's kind of wandering in and out of them and trying to find money and jobs in this kind of economically bust world. And I think that for me there are like few better working European directors right now than Petzold. And Yella, I think, is one of his finest. Really incredible film. Ending just hits the nail on the head perfectly. Ryan, I don't think you've seen every of his films. I don't think Daniel's only seen Phoenix.
Oh, is it that guy? Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys really need to get onto his stuff. There's so much here. I think Daniel, he's done some he does I know you've seen Phoenix, but like he does some great kind of like family human drama stuff in like all of his films, and I think you'd quite like it.
Yeah, I've had Transit in my watch list for like years.
Transit that's my favorite of his. That's kind of a masterpiece. That's so good. But yeah, Yella, really incredible film.
I'll get on it.
Nice, yeah. I was thinking about going to see that. Is it Mirrors?
Oh yeah, Mirrors number 3. You should.
Yeah.
It is really good. I love Paula Beer. He's kind of like 2 lead actresses, Paula Beer and Nina Hoss, he has in loads of his films. Like 2 of my favorites working. They're so good. He has a lot of his films have like repeated actors as well. He kind of keeps on working with. Undina as well. That's like between, I think, Yella, Undina, and Transit are probably my 3 favorite of his. But yeah, so good.
Nice. My next is Shampoo by Hal Ashby, which I'd watched because of our 1975 podcast, where this was one of the movies that were nominated and one acting nomination, I think. But it's Hal Ashby's follow-up to The Last Detail, which I loved, which had Jack Nicholson in the lead. I think Daniel's seen it. This is more of a kind of like hangout LA movie, which I think really captures the city really well. It's got Warren Beatty in the lead, which he was kind of like the height of his stardom at this point. And he's kind of playing an untraditional role, I guess, for the time. He's like a male hairdresser, which is movie kind of semi makes it as a uses that for comedy to make fun of him, but he's also like a womanizer who's kind of just going around the whole of LA sleeping with a bunch of different women, and that's kind of what the movie is all the kind of relationships kind of intertwining and everybody cheating on each other. I think it's a really funny, just kind of like hangout comedy that's kind of been
You should
forgotten.
Speaking of films that are about people constantly cheating on each other, you should watch a film from the 80s called Choose Me. I think you'd both love it. It's kind of like a take on kind of screwball comedies in a sense, but it is extraordinary. And I think you'd both really like that. But I don't. That instantly came to mind, and I don't know why. But that film is so good,
It's been in my watch list for a while. That.
really,
Yeah,
really
I-
good.
I'll add it. Yeah, Hal Ashby's kind of like. I feel like he was like huge at the time, but he's kind of not really talked about anymore. And just the two movies that I've seen of great. I know Harold the Mod is probably his most popular movie. I need to get onto that.
The last
But
detail
yeah,
is really good, and being there
okay.
is awful. People love being there. I thought it was awful.
Oh yeah, being there.
But that's not a popular
Isn't that a
opinion.
remake or something, or has it had
It,
been remade, or
probably it's quite popular. It's quite like
can't remember why I knew that.
it's not mainstream, but it's fairly famous.
Mm.
I don't know. I thought it was terrible, but anyway. Probably the most well-known film, number 5 is Office Space that I've seen. I've known about it for years. Everyone in like my circle that are older tell me to watch it because it's like considered a classic American comedy. Um, and it is funny, but it's also really depressing because it's about an office and how like genuinely real, how depressing and dehumanizing it can be. Luckily, I'm in an office with like weirdos, so it's not that bad. But like American corporate offices look like some of the worst places on earth, and this is like satirizing all that and how disposable everyone is, and the way they like do the sleazy corporate speak is I don't know. It's an entertaining watch, but it's also does go screwball level because they're trying to burn the office down towards the end. Jennifer Aniston's in it literally just for eye candy, I think, because she's so underutilized. I'm not going to complain about Jennifer Aniston being in a film in the 90s, but like, yeah, the women in this don't have much to do aside from that. It's a good film. It's like an unk comedy, to be honest, but I enjoyed it.
And I kind of ironically, it feels like it's a co-worker film about co-workers.
It is a co-worker film about co-workers. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's really strange because it's the kind of film that I'd expect a co-worker to bring up. But yeah, it is pretty good.
I actually watched this to. We have in our office. There's another guy who really likes films as well, but he's like 30 years older than me. And we have like a IMDb poster, one of those generic IMDb posters where you scratch out what you've seen.
That
And
one.
I'm beating. Not that one. No, it's cheaper than that. It had Office Space on it, and I'm like beating him, even though he's 30 years older than me. I was like, right, I'm gonna start mogging you. So I watched Office Space because it was on the poster, and neither of us had seen it. And yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it.
Nice. At number 5 for me, I have a really interesting. I think I can't remember where I stumbled across this film, but there's sometimes where films there's like I'll just see someone watch something and instantly I'll be like, oh yeah, I've just got to watch that. So the other day I watched a documentary from 2024 called The Periphery of the Base. It's got like 600 logs on Letterboxd. Chinese documentary about kind of it's about the Gobi Desert and infrastructure in the film. It's extraordinary. It's almost sci-fi like because of the landscape is incredibly alien. The hills and the color of the night sky is quite purple. It's kind of observational of conversations between people just kind of sitting around and workers in the area, and then it kind of morphs into something kind of quite incomprehensible. And but in the best kind of way, and I was completely blown away by it. It's like an hour long, and it was one of my favorite things of the decade so far. um yeah, so I watched that, and that was, yeah, one of my favorite things I've watched recently. Really phenomenal film.
Nice. My this is our top four now, yeah.
No, you're still on.
5.
You're
Oh,
still on
five.
five.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I missed one. Now number 5 is Destry Rides Again, which is a James Stewart western from the 30s. Which I am absolutely loving going through the westerns that he done. I know we watched what's it called, the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and a few of the I don't remember who said it, but someone said that James Stewart felt wrong to be in a western. But I couldn't
That was
disagree
probably
more because
Will. It's
yeah, I think it was
probably
Will.
Winchester 73. That's another one of his good
That's an
westerns.
incredible movie. Yeah, he's been in so many great westerns, and this was his
So
first one.
good.
It is by George Marshall, who I'd actually seen a couple of other James Stewart movies that he done, and they were really mediocre. I know he collaborated with John Ford on his, I think it's his very last western. It's like this like 3 hour long epic.
Oh.
How the West Was Won. Who James Stewart's also in that, which I really want to see. But yeah, this was one of his earlier movies. I got it just because I picked it up just because it was a really cheap Criterion that I found on eBay. So I wanted to blind buy it and check it out, and I really loved it.
Nice.
Kind of a simple western, but I think it works really well.
My number 4 is Robert Altman's Secret Honor, which is, I want to get his name right. One sec. It's Philip Baker Hall sat in a room playing Nixon for 90 minutes, and that is the film. He's talking to himself after Watergate happens, and he basically just goes mad in like paranoia, and he's ranting about all different aspects of Nixon's personal life, blaming other people, blaming himself, like trauma dumping about his past. It's just like an incredible solo performance and an incredible screenplay. I don't know how much was improvised, but like it's just an actor's reel for Philip Baker Hall. Only took 7 days to shoot. I know Paul Thomas Anderson loves this film as well, and also it makes it funny that Altman like hates Nixon a lot, which you'd get the impression from the sort of films that you might. So yeah, it's just a guy talking to himself for 90 minutes, and it's really, really good. And it's not something you just stick on in the background because it's a really physical performance where like he's getting drunk and he's throwing things around. It's an impressive film.
Interesting. For my number 4 pick, I went for my favorite of James Gray's films, Two Lovers from 2008, with Joaquin Phoenix and Gwyneth Paltrow. This is. I had high expectations coming into this, just because I love Gray's work, and I had heard from other people that this was his best, and I agree. The film follows Joaquin Phoenix's character, who at the beginning of the film tries to kill himself. He kind of moves back in with his parents in New York, and he kind of finds himself stuck in between two relationships. Yeah, I think James Gray makes some of the best contemporary New York movies. and specifically about the American dream, but he always finds a way to not make them dull or repetitive. But yeah, there's a lot of yearning in this. His use of location is always fascinating. There's always something quite singular about kind of each neighborhood or mode of transport, and Phoenix's character is kind of stuck in this limbo between tradition and modernity between these two women, and it is the climax of the film is very much worth it, and I wasn't let down. I also think this is Phoenix's best performance as well. I know that's high praise, but I was really blown away by this film and him in that. It's I think at its core it is quite a simple film, but it's subversive in that regard. But yeah, really underrated too considering the cast. But yeah, incredible film.
Nice. My number 4 is a movie that I just watched the other night, and that is The Best Years of Our Lives by William Wyler. This was his second Best Picture win. I got introduced to him as a director because he's done like Ben-Hur and Roman Holiday. Like those are like his really big movies that I haven't got to yet. I've been kind of watching in release order. He also done the original Wuthering Heights, which I just watched as well. Really good director so far. I got introduced to him in a documentary called The Five Came Back. It's a Netflix documentary, basically focusing on like 5 directors during World War II who kind of focusing on like how their movies changed because of the war. A lot of them made propaganda movies, like documentaries about the war, and it's kind of focusing on like how the kind of like tone of their movies changed pre and post war. John Ford was one of them. William Wyler was the other one, and I wanted to kind of go through his movies, and I just hit like around the time where it hits the World War II. I watched Miss Miniver, which is his first Best Picture win. Was like it was after World War II had started, but it was before like the US had like really got into the war. So this was a British movie, and it is kind of largely a propaganda movie. It doesn't work completely for me. It's a very like black and white almost perspective of the Nazis. Like they're really kind of just like shown as evil in it, and there's a lot of propaganda about go out there and fight for your country. But after the war, he done Best Years of Our Lives, which I think is a much better movie. I think there's a lot of it's an American movie, so it's about 3 soldiers coming back and kind of how they different deal adjusting back to their life. It's a movie about veterans experience PTSD about World War II, like straight after it ended, which I think is really interesting. And I think it was an interesting pairing of movies just together, even though Miss Miniver wasn't even close to being as good as that, despite winning Best Picture. And they're kind of a good pair of movies just to compare the tone and him as a director just before World War II and after World War II. They're a good pairing to watch together. I think it's actually one of my favourite Best Picture ones. I'd say it's one of the best of the 40s. Some incredible deep focus shots in this. Like, it really goes to show how the frame isn't used to its full extent now with like shallow focus in the background. There's so many moments in this movie where you're just watching something else happen in the background. Most of the conversation happening because he's really using the full frame. I think it's easily his best directed movie. I'm really looking forward to watching the rest because again he's got like Ben-Hur and stuff which are like supposed to be some of the greatest epics ever made.
Deep focus makes me so happy. I was watching John Borman's Deliverance the other day, and that has some incredible deep focus shots in it too. Yeah, always a nice surprise.
Cool. My number 3 is a French film, 1994, Torment. Some guy's wife is so attractive that it drives him mad. Is basically how I summarise that plot.
That sounds very French indeed.
He's terrified that people because she keeps like leaving the hotel for very legitimate reasons, and he's convinced she's cheating on him, and he becomes absolutely terrified that all the tenants of this hotel just want to take her away from him, and he really just starts descending into madness towards the end with like the climax, and it actually reminded me of like a Hitchcock film towards the end. Yeah, it's very French in a complimentary way because the French can do weird stuff like that well. I'll give them credit. It just becomes a really the hotel goes from this really grand, nice place to a really like restrictive, toxic sort of place that represents his like him losing his mind basically over his wife and kid. The kid gets like in the middle of it all. I know none of you've seen it. Ben's seen it and like absolutely loves it. It's a good film to watch, and it like scratches my itch for that sort of domestic drama sort of thing. It's very good.
It's the woman from Mission Impossible, isn't it?
Yeah. She's in Mission Impossible. Yeah, the first one.
The first one.
Blair.
Yeah.
Nice. My number 3, I have gone for Suhark's Peking Opera Blues. This was a blind buy. I saw that Arrow had done a restoration on it. I've been meaning to watch it for a while actually, so I picked it up. Absolutely loved it. I love him as a director. I think this is my favorite of his work so far. It follows three women in early 20th century Beijing, kind of espionage in a way, but more comedic and in the style of like the Suhark kind of action that you'd expect from him. And yeah, there's so much going on. There's so many beautiful faces in this film. The costuming is extraordinary, and it for me it's just one of those films I just had such an enjoyable time with. There's so much vibrancy to the detail going on here, and this kind of endless quest for justice and peace from amidst kind of a lot of political turmoil, with all spies and everything. But yeah, really phenomenal film. 86 that was. I would absolutely recommend it. Really, really fantastic stuff.
I need to watch some Suhark because he does look cool.
He is. Have you not seen any of his films?
No, I've not.
Danny Lai seen. Oh, this might not. It's Danny Lai seen Green Snake, which is really, really good. That is ridiculous. This might not be my favorite of his actually. He made a film called Dangerous Encounters of the First Kind, which is one of the most nihilistic films I've ever seen. It's absolutely mad. Some insane sequences in that. I watched The Blade recently as well, which is really good, and his kind of venture into kind of America as well, Knockoff, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, is really good, and Rob Schneider for some reason. But yeah, he is such a fascinating director, and I've been meaning to watch Time and Tide, which I will get to soon. But yeah, really
Nice.
great film.
My number 3 is back to another Robert Altman mention to do. Is McCabe and Mrs. Miller, which is now one of my all-time favourite westerns. I think this is possibly Altman's best-looking movie. I just love the kind of different textures in this movie, the lighting, the different kind of weathers that it experiences in this movie. That there's a snow in a western, which is always cool, and a really unique setting. This is basically like Warren Beatty like going out to make his own kind of town, and experiencing or trying to experience the American dream. It doesn't go so well for him. I forgot to mention Shampoo was also like a Warren Beatty and Julie Christie like being the leads in the movie again. Kind of like replicating McCabe and Miss Miller. So they were coming together again, which is probably why it was a popular movie at the time. But yeah, they were both really great in this movie. it is so hard to pick a favorite ultimate Altman. Like all of these movies are so good. But in terms of westerns, this is up there is my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw that recently. It's very good. Um, my number two is a new film, the drama. Um, I just think it's really good. I just think his Borgley's style of humor is really twisted and cynical, and I really like Dream Scenario as well. Pattinson and Zendaya are really good on screen chemistry, and Zendaya proves that, like, well, Challengers proved it to me anyway. But I see Zendaya getting some flack on Twitter and places like that. But no, she's a really capable actress, and the way they tackle the core issue in the film, which annoyingly was spoiled for me. I wish I'd just gone into it blind,
same.
but because TMZ just like, well, for me it was TMZ just
Have you
completely
seen it,
ruined
Ryan?
with a headline.
I've not seen it. No.
Do you know? It's
Still not seen
interesting.
it.
It's interesting you speak about it being spoiled because yeah, I didn't have it spoiled to be fair, but it kind of works in a way where it's not like a third act spoiler. Like this thing is happens at the beginning,
20
so
minutes
it's
in.
not
Yeah,
it's not all doom and gloom in that sense.
No.
it's the fact the trailer, like, everyone's like so shocked by whatever she says in the trailer, and to be
Yeah.
fair, it is like
It's a good
that
trailer.
shocking.
Mm.
I can't believe you've still not seen it.
I tried to see it like
yeah,
3 different times, and it
is-
was
it is good.
it's made so much money. Like it was sold out every time I went to go because I was trying to buy like
Damn.
last minute tickets. But it's
Yeah,
hit
my
100
screen was
million now, isn't
packed.
it?
It's
Damn.
their most profitable film, isn't it, or made the most money?
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Well, I mean, Pattinson and Zendaya together, yeah.
They got pulled.
I liked the attitude towards it from like an American perspective and then like a European one, because they made Pattinson like keep his English accent. He's from England, which is good.
Oh, is it?
And he like even acknowledges in the film how like weird it is that like the thing that the film is about is a thing in that country, and the different like reactions they all have to it. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it 'cause Ryan's not seen it, but it's a really, I like Dream Scenario a lot, and I think this is as good. But I think Sick of Myself is his best still. That film's
Oh,
disgusting.
yeah, it's a good movie.
good.
Yeah.
Good film.
For my number two, I went for Jock Rivette's 1974 masterpiece, Celine and Julie Go Boating. It's like 3 hours long, and I was just having the best time. I don't know. I films about daydreamers I really resonate with. This follows Julie and Celine. They kind of get entangled in like crazy time warping adventure in this kind of haunted house murder mystery melodrama thing. It kind of blurs the lines between performance and reality. It's such a crazy and a non-linear film, and I had, yeah, I don't know, I was just on board with everything from the beginning. How much of Jacques Rivette? I've seen a couple of Jacques Rivette's work. I need to get onto more. I've seen The Nun and La Belle, Noises as well. Probably his most famous works. But yeah, this was incredibly cozy, the good kind of French, and every bit my cup of tea. And an instant masterpiece for me. One of the best things I've watched all year long. So good.
Interesting. My number two is The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover by Peter Greenaway, which I can pretty confidently say is one of my favourite British movies of all time, probably. Now, I really love this movie so much. It is a stunning movie. Peter Greenaway is very commonly in our references one of Wes Anderson's influences, so you can kind of guess how great the art direction is in this. And you can kind of see it in the way that he it's kind of the way he sets up this movie is kind of stage play, but he almost moves in between it in the way that Wes Anderson would, where he kind of the camera and all the sets kind of move about very energetically. It doesn't feel stuck like a one location movie, even though there's not that many locations in it. But yeah, it's a really great British movie. Saying a lot about social classes in Britain at the time. It's a critique of Thatcher politics at the time. It's it's a very funny. It's almost like I guess it now would be a class satire that would probably be annoying. But I think it's really well done for the 80s. Michael Gambon is. I've only really known him for Dumbledore and Harry Potter, but he is honestly delivers one of the best performances of the 80s in here. He is like evil in this movie, but it's such a funny time as well. He's so good in this movie. And I need to watch more Peter Greenaway movies because if they're anything like this, they're going to be very, very good. I really recommend that. I think it's only Ben that's seen it, and you haven't seen this. I really recommend that. I think you'd both love it.
Nice.
My number one is Hard Boiled, which got the 4K re-release recently, and yeah, it's just relentless set pieces that just keep escalating and getting better and better. Not always my type of film, but no, this was like enough adrenaline to like keep me going. And interestingly enough, a friend I saw it with thought it was boring, which like tells you like not everyone can sit and watch something like that is so long and so relentless. It like has a horseshoe effect of being like too much and like not interesting. But I don't know. It made me laugh a lot. They never reload. Like a pistol has a clip for about 50 bullets.
That's just Hong Kong action.
Yeah,
in a
like
nutshell.
it's a lot of fun. And babies being like grappled out of windows of like burning hospitals. I don't know. It's just a fun time.
My favorite thing about Hong Kong action is like shotguns, like are just like explosives. When somebody shoots them, like so much explodes. It's so funny. Yeah, great film. For me, my number one is got to be Sam Peckinpah's Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid from 1973. Starring James Coburn, Chris Christopherson, and Bob Dylan, who in this film plays himself in the best possible way, and he is like on another planet. He's like he's just like some intergalactic alien. The vibes in this that he produces is so funny. But yeah, this is one of my favorite westerns without a doubt. I think Peckinpah's ability to detail a face and have the emotional catharsis of a film that spends hours with his characters, but when in actual fact he can just do it in minutes, is extraordinary. This is kind of like a West that's teetering on like an expiry date. It's quite melancholic, it's quite mystical, and the Bob Dylan soundtrack is absolutely perfect for the film. The score and the songs that he did, "Knocking on Heaven's Door," the knee drop for that song in the scene is.
Wait, did he make it for the movie?
Yeah, do you not realize that this is what it's for? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's why if you have it on Spotify, it's like album cover, "Knocking on Heaven's Door." Yeah.
Right.
It's what, and the scene that it's needle dropped in is like one of my favorite scenes in any Western ever. It's just a perfect movie from head to toe. One of the best things I've seen all year so far, and a movie everyone should watch. Yeah, it's ridiculously good. I don't know how you haven't seen it, Ryan.
Yeah, I need to watch that. You should watch Convoy, which Christopherson is the lead of that, and it's like kind of like a neo-western, but it's a trucker movie, and it's such a fun time. It's such one of these lower-rated movies, but I really loved it.
Nice. What's your number one?
My number one is also Hard Boiled. Shout out John Woo. this was just one of the most euphoric like cinema experiences I've had in so long. When it got re-released, was it March or was it April? Was it last month? We got or this month? Yeah, it was last
March,
month, wasn't it? It was not that long ago already.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some of the craziest action ever. I really can't recommend it enough. It, I know people say this a lot of times, like it's the kind of movie that wouldn't be made anymore. But I don't think legally you could do stuff in this because it's genuinely like I'm not convinced stuntmen didn't die like doing some of the stuff in this. And there's just there's oneers that like you keep thinking it's gonna end and then it just keeps going and stuntmen are like jumping through walls, getting shot, and it's just ridiculous.
The Yeah, it's crazy. There's in Suhark's knockoff, there's a scene where like a car just like drives out the side of a car park, and it's insane. There's like stuntmen just getting set on fire like every Hong Kong action film. So many slow-mos, it's ridiculous. I'd argue that like The Killer is like the crazier of those two films. It's definitely the more like melodrama-y. I think that's my favorite of his, The Killer. I rewatched that the other day. The new Arrow 4K looks absolutely gorgeous on The Killer. Really, really good. And yeah, all of like the Hong Kong films that like incorporate the jazz as well. Oh, wins me over so easily.
Yeah, have you seen the comparison of what Hardboiled looks like on the US 4K compared to the Arrow 4K?
Oh yeah, Shout from Shout. It's ridiculous.
it's so
Arrow's so
different.
much better. Arrow's so much better.
Yeah. Yes, it's a great looking movie as well. It's really tragic the reputation John Woo has because of his American movies, even though I love his American movies.
Yeah, I don't get it. Mission Impossible 2 is great. What other
Face
you
Off is
remade The
good.
Killer. I need to watch Face Off. But like this is the guy who made Bullet in the Head as well, and two Better Tomorrow films. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. He's one of the best.
Yeah, he's a fun time. Right, that's all of our favourite watches of the last month. Let us know what your favourite watches of April or March was, and let us know what you think of Akira as well, and we will be back next week for something else.